and the lady just canceled my interview because I replied in one sentence.
Life that you are looking at on others' Instagram posts and stories,
It's
it's
not.
not true. So people also have to remember that you have to get your hands dirty. You have to sacrifice your sleep.
So, and when I used to come back, I used to cry. I was like, I have to go that again, but I have to do it. Oh, oh my.
Hello and welcome back to Curry Meets Croissant. So this is episode number 3, and today we have two guests in the show, and we're going to talk about how we deal with balancing studies and work, and also living in abroad. All we're gonna also talk about how to chase careers, and there's a aspect which we think that getting jobs is easy, but the reality is completely different. So we're going to address these issues today, and we're going to have fun because the two guests that we have today are my dear, dear friends again. So the first guest is my dear friend Srishti, and she did her master's degree from Sheffield Hallam University from the UK. And currently, she is working in some company, and she's doing really good. And the second guest today we have is another best friend of mine, Eshan, and he likes to address his name as Eshan Patel. And yes, and even though he's not an international student, but he has a very he has huge amount of experience backed, and he has worked in 3 countries, and who better than him can actually give you reality checks about how to go forward with jobs, opportunities, or networking in general. So hello guys, and welcome to Curry Meets Croissant. And how do you feel, both of you?
Excited? Good.
Okay, so let's get started. And Shrishti, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself and your background in masters and currently what you're doing?
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Srishti Salvi. I completed my master's in business sports management from Sheffield Hallam University in 2023. Now, currently, I work as a general assistant in the I Sheffield arena. And side by side, I worked as a project manager in a football club in London. So, thank you for having me today.
Uh, hey everyone, firstly, thank you for inviting us for the podcast. Amrita, you are doing such a great job. Talking about me, I have been working in the industry from past 7 years. Uh, I have completed my bachelor's in sports management. In fact, we all were together in the same college.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very good to be here and excited, looking forward to the talk.
Okay, so our first segment is about Shrishti, you. So
Mhm.
we are going to talk about like balancing studies, the work culture, and also living in abroad. So please tell us about your experience being in UK.
It was wonderful, but it was tough at the same time. So, uh, starting like same international student plan, the same thing. Like we will come over here, study and basic needs. Will get a job or get an internship, but reality is totally different when you arrive over here. So first, you encounter with different culture shocks, the weather, the people, and the education system.
But yeah, moving on. So managing studies in itself is so much tougher in general, and
Right.
considering that it's a new country altogether. So how difficult was it for you to manage studies and also do part-time jobs at the same time?
So it depends actually. You can get a part-time job very easily, but depends where you stay. Like I stay in very outskirts, like I stay in Sheffield. So it's surrounded by like mountains, very beautiful place. If you're like a student, it's perfect for student life. If you're like not happy with like studies or having bad day, you can go for a trek or a walk. There is a beautiful park and beaches over here.
Mhm.
So getting a part-time job over here was very difficult because the area is quite commercialized and industrialized. So we have everything like warehouse and everything over here. So getting an internship is all in big cities like London, Birmingham, or Coventry, anywhere. So you could do that, but what my mistake was, I should have planned this ahead. Like 1 year back, I should have decided which company should I work. I should have approached the company in past, like, look, I want to work over here. These are the skills. once I have a job fix over here, then I should move forward. I decided over here, like I'm gonna land over here. I'm just gonna do my studies, take a part-time job, pay my rent. But getting a part-time job was very difficult because we have a restriction of only 20 hours, and people only hire like 40 hours or 50 hours or 35 hours. If we exceeded more than 20 hours, that will be a problem for us. We could be held in question, or a visa can be cancelled, or we can't even apply for graduate visa in future.
Completely understandable. So now that you have, experienced the internships and you're working full time, so do you think that there are some struggles that you even go through right now, and are they even worth it?
I think, how do I say? I don't want to be bragging about myself, but I know what I want, and I know what I want to be like, where I want to see myself.
Mhm.
But the platform which I have, it's quite leisure sports, and I want to work in a commercial sports.
Mhm.
So reaching that top and going through that experience, I feel like applying jobs and getting rejection. So like how if I apply for 100 jobs, I get 100 rejections straight away back. So these are the struggle my struggle. I still get rejection. So that's why I said I'm not like settled or anything. I still get rejection for like many companies I apply. After the interview, also after second or third stage of interview. One time I got rejection at the first stage, once my interview was selected, and the lady just canceled my interview because I replied in one sentence. So it all happens right now. So everything is, I don't know, this is life.
So moving on to the next segment, which is we're gonna talk about the dreams versus the reality checks when it comes to job, and who better than Ishan can actually address it. So now that we know that you have been to 3 or 4 different countries for your job, how was your experience? Like, how would you want to put it, saying that even though you are not an international student.
No, obviously it is tough, but it is not as tough as being an international student, of course. I have never been to that side, but whatever just history told us, I can completely relate to it as a professional, because we all go through that struggle at certain point of our life, even though we are not outside. But I have been outside for work, so
Mm.
it's kind of the same situation. You guys are outside for studies, and I have been outside for work. So just the matter is that I don't run behind the money, money runs behind me. So that is the only struggle that I don't have to face. But apart from that, I think yeah, we all have been there, especially when she spoke about the recruiters and the hiring processes. I mean, of course, I've been onto the recruiter side as well when I was working for the FIFA World Cup. I've had a team of at least 12 to 13 people to work under me, and I have taken a couple of interviews. So just to hire those 13 people, I have taken almost 150 interviews. So I can totally relate to what Srishti told, that you have to be very mindful of everything. Like you can be caught up for anything and everything that you say or you write on your CV. It should be a thing that it should be written on the stone, because once you write it there, it's done. Like you cannot change it. And once your recruiter catches it, then it's a no story. Coming on to the realities of working outside, I think it's fun, but again, it comes with its own challenges. So, taking the cultural shock in part, when you go outside to work in a certain country, of course, firstly you go outside your home. So, even though it is within your own country or outside your own country, to accommodate there, to settle there in the particular area, to know your surroundings. So your first thing should be your food, how you stay. You should be acclimatized to the environment. It is all difficult. You take time. It's not that easy that you go in directly, start working, you settle in, because there are sets of people. You work with different nationalities. You work with different mindsets. You
Mm.
have to know it all. Like you have to know that who you are working with and what their mindset is. I have worked with people from more than 20 countries, so I know that everyone thinks on their own way. Everyone has their own way of working. For an example, in India, we use Google a lot, like for everything, Google Docs, Google Meet. But if you take Germany as an example, I have worked with Germans, so they like using OneDrive. They are big fans of Microsoft.
Mhm.
and which is fair, but it is totally the opposite. All the UIs are totally the opposite.
So, what was the biggest challenge of working in multiple countries? And like, did you feel that the excitement was overweighing the struggles or something?
Speaking of the challenge first, I already explained in earlier part that you work with different mindsets, you work with different nationalities, and they all have their own way. So just to find that fine spot where you can align yourself with their mindset, and you all can work together in symphony and harmony. It is just that once you find that spot, then everything becomes very smooth and great. Because honestly speaking, we as Asians, we are a little bit rigid to learning new things. To be
Yeah.
very honest, which I have seen that we follow certain procedures, we follow certain cultures, which became our part. Like where we when we go outside, we find little difficult to get into their culture or learn their practices, and which is fair.
But what is that one piece of advice, Ishan, that you want to give to the students who are thinking to, pursue their career in sports?
First things first, if you are coming in here, just forget that you'll get sleep. Okay, you won't get sleep, you won't get food. The glorified life that you are looking at on others' Instagram posts and stories,
It's
it's
not.
not true.
Mhm.
It's all a mirage. Okay, to get to that point, we have struggled for at least 7 to 8 years, and we have not shown that 7 to 8 years journey on our Instagram profile. So people also have to remember that you have to get your hands dirty. You have to sacrifice your sleep, your food, your health, because it is true.
I think we all have seen like how far we have come. I never knew that I had social anxiety, and I was really awkward. I was always awkward to go and network with people. Like I was like, what will I say when I go and talk to them? Like how bubbly or something I'm around my friend. I'm not at all like my words doesn't come out when I'm in front of some person from certain companies, or like when it comes to networking event. I think it was with Shrishti, it was with you. I think we all have broken down that wall, and we are just pushing ourselves to go and talk to people, network, just learn what they're doing and what is going on in the market. You both have shared your thoughts, but I have something fun also for you, which is the rapid fire round. And I'm going to ask three questions to both of you, and you just have to, that is going to work as a solution for the students who are listening to us, and hopefully that helps. So starting with you, Shrishti, the first question is, what's the worst part-time job you had as a student?
Oh, oh what? So I told you about the sandwich thing.
Mhm.
That was, I won't say worse,
Mhm.
because I respect that job, even though it was very difficult to me that time. It paid my bills. It may like help me put the rent on time, gave me food, so I have a shelter because of that. So respectfully with that job, but I would suggest not to like think that job is the only thing we're gonna do. It is a temporary thing. It was a temporary thing for me for years. So yeah, so that job was basically a sandwich making company. You see meal deals on like convenience stores or somewhere. So the meal deals are packed through that warehouse. So we're equipped with like gloves and everything, and we go under the warehouse, which is like a cold freezer. Like it is like -4 or -8 degrees, because that temperature is perfect for making all those sandwiches. So the section starts from like someone puts all the bread on the aisle, and it just goes like this. Some people are putting lettuce, some people are putting sandwiches, some people are spreading it. So my job at the end was just turning it down, just turning it down, like doing this for 8 hours straight. And the problem is, if you messed up, it gets caught up in the machine, and you have to do it all over again. So you can't stop your hand. You have to like do everything. And worst thing, I did a night shift. So I used to get very sleepy. I used to like sleepy, and like I don't know, I have the ability to stand and sleep, but I developed that because because of the job. So I used to like stand and sleep as my supervisor used to wake me like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Do you want to go home?" It's like, "No, no, I'll do it. I'll do it." Because
My
I was
God.
like very like stubborn and like quite determined to like, I'll just complete that job. It's fine. And when I used to go back home, I used to sleep like anything. So, and when I used to come back, I used to cry. I was like, I have to go that again, but I have to do it. I think that was the like worst, not worse, but I respectfully won't do that again now.
I think you're doing pretty much really good what you're
Yeah.
doing right now. So your second question is one thing you wish you knew before moving abroad.
I wish I could know what the market of UK is, because from outside India, it's feel very colorful, like big events, World Cup or Rugby World Cup, so many like sports and crazy fans for like over here. So my thought was like it will be very easy rather than India, because rather in India only one sport is very popular, that is cricket. But over here, every sport is popular: ice skating, rugby, cricket, softball, baseball. Every sport is popular over here, and the country is like that. It's quite have a very enthusiastic and quite a mere like sports fan over here.
We are so happy. We are really, really so happy and proud of you that you're doing so well right now. It's a long way to go still, but whatever you're doing right now, I think you deserved it. You have earned it, and you're a long way to go still. So your last question would be, what is that one UK food that you will never eat again?
I didn't like the Indian food. No offense, but
I
I
mean,
think
of course.
yeah, I think it's the spices over here. I understand the tolerance and the level of spice. It's adjust according to the like surrounding, but I feel like other than Indian food, I would try every other food over in restaurant because it's quite whitewash. The spices have the color but doesn't have the flavor.
Mm.
If
Understand.
it feels like the spices, like the spice factor is removed from the flavor, the masala. So yeah, I would say the Indian food in UK, but some places are really, really good. They serve authentic food. They serve a perfect meal. Like even though you have a mixed customer of like Indian, Nigerian, or Chinese, they adjust the spice. They know what they are doing.
So let's move on to our next, guest, Ishan. So there are three more questions landing for you now.
So
So
will I be getting a hamper if I win?
you will get a Bonvita hamper on the way to your
Yeah.
house. So your first question is, what would be the best event or opportunity you have gotten so far?
Uh, IPL, hands down IPL. Like it is the best cricketing league in the whole world. So that is one experience that I would be always grateful much from IPL.
Can you just talk a little bit on IPL? Because I know, apart from Indians or the UK people, I think not a lot of people knows about IPL, even though it is like the second
I'm sure
biggest.
everyone in the world who knows
Hmm.
cricket
It's
knows
very popular.
IPL. It's the biggest cricketing show on earth. Okay,
It's
but
very
yeah, talking about IPL, it's like 10 teams clashing against each other. It's a franchise based by the Board of Control for Cricket in India, BCCI, which is one of the best associations for cricket in the world. So yeah, it is one of the greatest show on earth, and the cricket we play in IPL, the setup we do in IPL, the way we work in IPL, it's just crazy. Like there are just to look at that, like they all working in a harmony all together. It's just awesome. Like it's very very good.
Okay, so coming down to the second question is one sports legend you would love to meet or you have met already.
So I always worshipped one guy, and everyone knows that.
Mahendra Singh Dhoni.
Yes, for a particular reason, my favorite number since childhood was 7. Yeah, so I have met MS. I have been fortunate enough to meet him and touch his feet because I worship him as a god of cricket. Uh, After Sachin, of course, but yeah, he is someone I looked up to. I started watching cricket for him, and when he stopped
playing, it shattered me. I was like, what just happened? But yeah, he's a great guy. He's a great guy. He will make you feel welcome. He'll make you feel that you know him since ages.
Yeah.
He's not just a player, like he's a good human as well. So I have been fortunate enough to meet him, touch his feet, get an autograph on my Indian jersey. It was the best moment of my life.
I mean, yeah, I would kill to be in that position, for once, at least to meet
Obviously,
any
a
player.
lot of people would do that. I'm sure a lot of people would do that.
I mean, Shrishti, when it comes to, one person that you would like to meet, who would it be?
Serena Williams.
Oh, wow. Nice choice, dude. Nice.
Yes. I don't know what the woman has, but whenever she speaks, whenever she says something motivational, it's like it feels like she's talking to me, or like it feels so connected. But it's like randomly I just like follow her, like see her quotes. If I'm feeling a bad thing, she exactly says the thing which keeps me up. So she talks about fear, she talks about confidence, and like sometimes I feel like I want to be that woman. Like I want to be have that confidence in that.
That's a very good response. I think, yeah, she is even my idol, but I would love to meet. I have a list of people that I love to meet, but as of now, I would kill to meet like Roger Federer. I don't know. I really look up to that person. Like, he is a very inspirational, a legendary figure. And I would kill to, like, just to see one glance of him walking by, I'm done. And that is enough for me, I think, for now. So, landing on to your last question, Ishan. So, your toughest event or job you have done so far?
Uh, every event comes with its own challenges. Of course, they all are tough, but we make it look easy with our hard work and professionalism. But to be honest, the toughest event I have worked on, uh, I did Reliance Foundation Youth Sports football matches. So I was the field manager for that event, and it was basically school football tournament kind of a thing. But so it was a organized event. So we used to do the whole setup, which we would do for the professional football match. We used to have static cameras. We used to have professional referees. Used to have the whole setup. So the place which hosted that match was almost like 90 kilometers away from my home in Bhiwandi, and the matches used to start at 6:30 a.m. And so yeah, I used to wake up at 3:30, catch the first train of 4:15. Used to go there and get out of at Kalyan station. Then used to take an ST bus. Used to go to the Bhiwandi stadium. So I used to do that for almost about 2 months. I did that for 2.5 months. But it was great. It was a good learning. That's why when we saw smiles on those kids who used to play there and who used to enjoy the matches because we organized it very well, that kept me going for 2.5 months. That every day I used to wake up and go there, and I did not have a single holiday because it was a whole continuous season. So that was the toughest part. It was tiring. So after those 2.5 months, I was like, done. I'm not working for another month. I need to sleep now. I need rest for this body. But yeah, it was tough. But on the other hand, it was very insightful, and I learned so much from that event.
Yeah, I think sports is the only factor that we have learned since childhood, and not to
Yeah.
insult any other industry, but sports is something that we all resonate with and that we all love to work into it. And even though it comes with a lot of sets of challenges like waking up 3:30 in the morning, or maybe traveling from one corner of the city to the other, like it takes 2 to 3 hours to reach. I think we all just give it all, even though we complain in our head like, why are we doing this? But in the end of the day, after we complete the job, it's always there is a satisfaction that I did it because I love it. And not a lot of people, they get an opportunity to work in the fields that they love, because it comes with a lot of sacrifices and choices that they make. And we are really blessed and we are really lucky to be a part of something that we have always cherished since childhood, and that is something which I think keeps all of us going on. So thank you so much, guys, for after me forcing terribly to both of you, and you agreed to be a part of the podcast. So huge thanks to both of you, Shrishti and Ishan, to make some time for this podcast and to make time for me, basically. So, any insights that you want to give for the podcast? Like, how was your experience through the whole journey of the podcast?
It was good actually. It's good to let it out and talk, and it's good thing you're doing for students, because like some students I feel like they are blindly just coming to abroad just because they want to do a master's studies, and they just plan in their head like it's going to be very easy just like India, but uh, it, it might not seem easy that it sounds. So it's good like you hear from people, because the advice I think from alumni are lacking behind. Like sometimes I approach alumni, they seem busy with their work, they're busy with interviews, or they are traveling somewhere. So it is very difficult to get that information. And you doing that out of your way, getting your time, and after lectures or after your work, you are like getting all that information, making sure they see it and they use it in the future. So it's really helpful. So I think good job, Amrita.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything you would like to say, Ishan, apart from the hamper?
Uh, no, I would just like to add on to what Srishti said. It was very good, being the part of such a great podcast. And just one piece of last advice to whoever is listening to this podcast, that wherever you are in this world, in this whole world, uh, just make sure that you keep on going, and rest will follow. That's it. Like, you just have to fight till the last point when you feel like that it's not happening, but there are some powers that is going to make it happen. So just keep on going, just do your part, and rest will follow. That's it.
I think you give this piece of advice to me every day. If I'm stuck somewhere, I'm like, Ishan, I don't know what to do. He's like, keep going, push yourself, go on, keep on doing it. I think I have seen a quote, or I've heard it through some movie. I don't remember right now. Where there was a teacher who was talking to their students, and she was saying that, every day is a war, but the battle is your whole life. So wars will come and go, you will win and lose, but the battle is still on. So I
Yes,
think we just have to keep on going. You just have to believe in ourselves, trust in ourselves, and just have to keep on doing what we are doing. Believe in ourselves, that's all. On
definitely.
that note, thank you so much again. And thank you to all my listeners who were a part of this podcast and who had like great, immense patience to listen to both of their stories and also mine. And make sure that you follow Curry Meets Croissant and do subscribe to for small updates and for the upcoming episodes as well. And follow us on Instagram for small details like who's coming next as a guest and what is the next topic that we are gonna address. And also follow on YouTube and Spotify as well. Um, for next time, see you later. Bye. Bye, guys. Say bye.
Go on, guys, hit that like button,
Yes.
smash that like button.